What's up, y'all? It's Derby time once again. Coming up this May 4th, 6:57 Eastern Daylight Time. Louisville, Kentucky. $5 million. That's right, $5 million purse this year. Maybe somebody at Churchill Downs was listening to me. I think I said that a year or two ago. No, it's no way. They're just get into the depth with these horses I normally do. Just gonna give you as quick of a rundown as possible, and you can check out those other videos for a quicker rundown on all these horses because I will be getting into the pace here and giving you a pick at the end. Let's get going here. Number one, Dornoch. Luis Saez riding this horse. Luis Saez has something to prove after riding Maximum Security, being taken down. You like a guy with a chip on his shoulder going into this race for sure. Last race out, Dornoch did not perform well. Ran in the Bluegrass Stakes, beaten by Sierra Leone, a lot of people's favorite, maybe the favorite by the time this race goes off. He beat Sierra Leone before in the Remsen in a showdown, won by a nose. I had to come back to beat him. So everyone's kind of looking for the rematch. He really didn't show up for the rematch. Sierra Leone got the win. In between that, he ran in the Fountain of Youth. So a good horse here. They didn't send him to the lead as they like to in the Bluegrass Stakes. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I definitely think that being with Luis Saez, he likes to ride up front. Trainer Danny Gargan, he's going to like to get his horse up front, and I think Dornoch will be up front. Not necessarily in first place, but I think he's going to go towards the head of the pack for sure, especially being he's in the number one spot. It really only helps him even more to head to the front instead of giving up the rail and having to go around after not heading to the front of the pack. So that's where I expect Dornoch to be, up there with them. Can he win it? Sure he can. Dornoch has proven to be right on speed with the rest of these horses for the most part. Fierceness being the fastest horse in here. And, the speed figures show that. Number two, the horse that I think, I've heard more people that I listen to pick Sierra Leone to win than I have picked Fierceness. I hear a few people saying Fierceness isn't going to do anything. I've heard a few people saying that they'll throw him in on a couple of boxes and, wheels, but they don't really. They're just kind of playing him because he's a favorite and they want to throw him into an exotic. I haven't really heard very many people make much of a case for him. However, I heard lots of people make a case for this too. Sierra Leone, winner of the Bluegrass Stakes, as I said before. Get a win before that in the Risen Star. Second place in the Remsen. As I said, losing to Dornoch, and then got a win in the maiden special weight before that. So this horse has been finishing well, likes to run off the pace. Tyler Gaffleone's riding him, trained by Chad Brown. Horse is sired by Gunrunner. There's a lot to like about the horse. I'll say it again. I don't like his speed. And then the fact that he's running off the pace, he's going to need the pace to collapse, in my opinion, for it to win. Will it collapse? That all depends on how fast the pace is. But I know not as many people put as much early on the two. Even though he is a good horse, he's probably going to do something. Number three, Mystic Dan. BJ Hernandez riding this one. They got this one at 20-1. Not that long. Mystic Dan is a good horse, in my opinion. Probably a bit more of a miler, I'd say. Third in the Arkansas Derby. Got a win in the Southwest Stakes. Any of these horses can win, giving on the pace and positioning and everything. So I don't want to rule anyone out, but I think Mystic Dan is a bit outclassed, given a clean race. So he's going to need a little bit of luck, as I like to say. Number four, we got Catching Freedom. Catching Freedom, another horse a lot of people they kind of like this horse. I've heard more people kind of say they like Catching Freedom than Fierceness as well, even though we know Fierceness is the favorite. Catching Freedom did have a good race last out, got a win in Louisiana Derby, running a mile in 3/16. That's 9.5 furlongs, so it's only half a furlong shorter than the Derby. Decent race, decent time at the 156, not blazing or anything. But it was a decent race. Third in the Risen Star before that, where he was beaten by Sierra Leone. Got a win in the Smarty Jones before that one. So the horse, he's got what it takes to get some wins in there to hit the board. Started by Constitution, so he's in the breeding. Breeding is pretty strong. Check out the Catching Freedom Spotlight for my full take on that. But he's got some strong breeding in there, trained by Brad Cox. Catching Freedom, I think you want to keep your eye on him. I honestly think people should kind of like him better than Sierra Leone, even though Sierra Leone did beat him before. I think in this race, I kind of like Catching Freedom a little better. Number 5, Catalytic. Jose Ortiz riding Catalytic. He is one of those horses that they would say a field horse. 30-1 they got in the morning odds. We used to use the term field horse back when you would get all these horses in one bet. Second in the Florida Derby. So he faced Fierceness, got blown away. That's probably really hurting him because he's not really that heavily raced. Ran a couple of sprints. Goes way up in class to the Florida Derby, gets blasted by Fierceness, but he does run second in that race, and hey, he's in the Kentucky Derby. So a little outclassed, I think. Horse sired by Catalina Cruiser. Not that strong a breeding in the background with the Union Rack and Distorted Humor there. So yeah, long shot for a reason. He's got his work cut out for him for sure. The fact that he has run behind Fierceness, I do think that gets him a bit of an advantage because you like to follow him to see if they can beat him. That's going to kind of be on everybody's mind. So I think that does give him a bit of advantage having faced him before. Number 6, Just Steel. KJ Asmussen, son of Steve Asmussen, riding this one. Hall of Fame trainer D. Wayne Lucas, the trainer. Trainers, he used to have tons of Derby horses. Back when Todd Pletcher and Stephen Asmussen worked for him, guy was a contender to win the Derby every year. Since the split up, not so much, but he's still around. I think 88 years old. D. Wayne Lucas back with another horse, Just Steel. This horse is out of Justified, Triple Crown winner, controversial Triple Crown winner, but Triple Crown winner nonetheless. B.J. Hernandez riding this horse. Second in the Arkansas Derby in his last out, beaten by Muth, another controversial horse. Bob Baffert horse who is not going to be running in this. I think Muth definitely would be the second or third favorite if he was running. So that's good for Just Steel. I mean, guess having run right behind him in the second place, 7th in the Rebel Stakes, beaten by Sierra Leone there. Second in the Southwest Stakes before that, beaten by Mystic Dan. Second in the Smarty Jones. Got a win in the Ed Brown, though, at Churchill Downs. It was a mile and, a 6.5 furlong race. But he did get a win there. You like to see that horse come back to Churchill Downs. You saw that with Rich Strike. Can it make a difference? Of course. I mean, you've got horses are like people. They like certain tracks and certain conditions better than others. He is long shot for a reason, though. I don't expect to see him hitting the board unless something kind of crazy happens. But something crazy is liable to happen. This is the Kentucky Derby, as you know. Do I really like him to win? No, not necessarily. I think he's going to need a lot of luck for that. Number 7, speaking of another one I think will need a lot of luck to win, is the 7, Honor Marie. Ben Curtis riding this one, coming from overseas. Good for these guys. But riding in the Kentucky Derby is tough. It's tough for people that have been riding at Churchill Downs the whole career to win. Tough for people that have had lots of entries in here to win. That's just a tough ask for him. Honor Marie in his last out. Second in the Louisiana Derby behind Catching Freedom. 5th in the Risen Star. Got a win in the Kentucky Jockey Club, so that's good. However, coming back to Kentucky right now, I'm just not as big on this horse. A lot of people are pretty strong. They think that he's going to hit the board. I haven't seen the speed out of him. I say that with a lot of the horses. I'll say that a lot. If you don't have the speed at a mile and an eighth, in my opinion, it's going to be tough to put it together. If this mile and a quarter outside of something drastic happening, and then you got the traffic issues and all that, I just think that's a bit to ask from Honor Marie, and I'm just not as big on this horse like Sierra Leone. That it's an AP Indy horse. I just think Honor Marie's gonna it's gonna be tough for Honor Marie in this race, and at that price, I don't think you're getting enough odds. 20-1. They had the betting odds at 16-1. I think a lot of people were going to bet him down. I'm going to be looking elsewhere. Number 8 at 21 morning odds, Florent Geroux. Another controversial Derby winner, got a win by disqualification. So he's looking to get a real win, but number 8, just a touch of love, a little bit. It's strange. That song came on when I was about to record the Just Steel video, and I'm like, is that a sign? Is that a sign? Just a touch. The song comes on while I'm recording these videos, because I had that happen. I see this Rombauer whine, and then Rombauer comes and wins the Preakness, and little things happen. If you're looking for angles, I don't like to play the superstitious stuff. A lot of people do with the Derby. But if the price is right on just a touch, I might throw a little something on him, though. However, as much as I like this horse, and here's another thing. I kind of think the horse is like Mage. Last year, I did not think Mage was quite ready to win the Kentucky Derby. I liked the horse. Just didn't think he, based on his other races, I was like, maybe he'll be better later in the year. Maybe he'll be better as a 4-year-old. Turns out Mage got the win in the Kentucky Derby. Could that be just a touch? It could be. I think it really could be with just a touch. Last out, second in the Bluegrass. Second in the Gotham before that, and got a win in the Major Special Weight before that. So he's been moved up the ranks pretty quickly, like some of these horses. Couple of 59-second breezing workouts. So that looks good. That second in the Bluegrass behind Sierra Leone was good, but once again, not fast enough. If I don't think Sierra Leone is fast enough, I don't think you're fast enough running second behind him in that kind of a race. So I can't really go with just a touch in this one. As much as I like this horse, sired by Justify, Mother's Father's Tappet, you have all kinds of Hall of Fameness, from Seattle Slew to Secretary to AP Indy, Northern Dancer. Everybody's in this horse's family tree. Go Sapper. I just don't think this is the race for just a touch. I'm sorry. I mean, as much as I talk the horse up, it sounds kind of weird. Just don't think this is his time. So, moving right along to Encino. Axel Concepcion riding this one. Encino is another one of those horses that has been running well. Got a win in the Lexington a couple weeks back, winning the John Battaglia before that. Broke his maiden before that. So he's three wins. Lost his only loss by a neck. Horse has been competitive. Bounced around, run on the artificial surface. Up to the dirt in Keeneland. Coming over to Louisville. Can he get it done? I don't know. Sired by Nyquist. Nyquist won the Kentucky Derby. So he's got that, along with his mother's father being Bernardini, which is an AP Indy horse. So he's got the breeding. Trained by Brad Cox. He's got the trainer. Don't know if he's got the speed. Once again, had a 59-second breezing workout. That's good to see. But he hasn't shown the speed yet. And I would have liked to have seen him run that Lexington a lot faster, to think that he's ready to get out here and run. Blame me if you like Encino. I don't blame you at all. He's a tough, competitive horse. Number 10, another tough, competitive horse, but very lightly raced, T.O. Password. undefeated. Kazushi Kamara, the jockey on this one, coming out of Japan. Problem with T.O. Password, he's coming out of Japan. Hasn't put up any kind of a time. His best race was 1 mile and 1/8 and 1:54. That is a sleeper time in the United States. 6 seconds slower than an even time at 1 mile and 1/8. That is good that he's run both his races 1 mile and 1/8, so he's used to running distance. I haven't seen anything out of this horse to show that he's going to step up, though. Taking 6 seconds off that time, comparatively, to what he's going to have to do to match up with a horse like Fierceness, taking 5 seconds or 4 seconds off even to match up with a horse like Sierra Leone. That's a tough ask from a horse like this with such a short career. If you got an inside word, I can see why you're playing him. The odds are going to be huge, I'm pretty sure, on this horse because of what I just said. Lightly raced, coming from Japan, probably going to be 80, 90 to 1. Wouldn't be surprised. Does he got a shot? Of course he does. Do I like him to win? No, I don't. Number 11, speaking of Japanese horses, this one is a little bit better here. Forever Young. Forever Young, he showed to me that he can run because he beat these American horses here in the Saudi Derby. So even though it wasn't Saudi Arabia, he beat this horse, Bookham Dano. I watched that race. It was a good race. Mile and 1:36. He got a tough win there. Got a win in the UAE Derby. 1:57, the mile and 3/16. So, not a fast time there. But he did get the win and showed he could run faster. So I don't hold that up against him. He's got some decent breeding in his background. I don't really want to say, it's just because he's coming from Dubai, he's not going to win. I mean, those records, I mean, that's one thing I've noticed about those myth records are we just got to throw this one horse out because of this one thing or this one thing and that one thing. The more it becomes a myth, then it gets broken, like the Apollo myth thing. The more they talk about it, then it just doesn't happen, and it's not a thing anymore. So will Forever Young be the horse? I don't know, maybe. I don't like him as the favorite, but he's shown that he's as competitive, I think, as just as much as these other horses in Sierra Leone. So many people like Sierra Leone. I think you could like Forever Young just as well. Like I said, I wouldn't hold it against you if you took Forever Young and a win too, because this is the Kentucky Derby. Number 12. It's a little tougher to take this one for a win. I don't know. He is a good horse, though. Got a good jockey, Derby-winning jockey, Joe Rosario with the 12-track Phantom. 20 to 1 in the morning odds. 6-second opening half, which is probably what I think it's going to be. Is he going to want to have that? Probably. Is Rosario going to have to hold him back and hurt him? That's going to hurt him. If he wants the lead and Rosario's got to hold him back and keep him off the lead, that's going to hurt the horse. If the horse wants to go to the 46, but I think he's going to have to at least do a 46, not a 45 to get the lead, I think that's going to hurt him. The best thing for Rosario to do is just kind of let this horse run, I think. Let the horse run. Let him run as much as he feels comfortable to trying to ease him into a good stride. But I think the horse is going to want to take the lead, and I think it's going to be a problem for him. 4th in the Louisiana Derby last out. 2nd in the Risen Star. Before that one, beaten by Sierra Leone here. Beaten by Catch and Freedom. Beaten by Honor Marie. Got a win in the LeComte before that. Win in the Gunrunner Stakes. Track Phantom, I just don't think this is the kind of race for him. I don't really. Enough for him. So he's got Rosario on him, so that's what you need to. That's the cure to beat the tough pace is the better jockey. So he's got Rosario. We'll see what he can do. Number 13, West Saratoga. Jesus Castanon. 13, West Saratoga. Jesus Castanon riding this one. Long shot on this one. 51 morning odds. Probably going to be much higher than that. Now, how did this horse make his way into the Derby? They all earned their way here somehow. 2nd in the Jeff Ruby. 3rd in the San Felipe. 2nd in the Pasco. 5th in the Breeders' Cup Futurity. Got a win in the Iroquois at Churchill. You like to see a win at the track. He's got the points to be in here. Horse is sired by Exaggerator. That's a curling horse. Both those are decent horses. Castanod's an experienced jockey, so you can't really want to throw him out all the way. I mean, I could see you wanted to use him in exotics. I don't really like him to win because he doesn't have any notable wins outside of that win in the Iroquois, which was 1 mile and 137. Rich Strike got 1 mile and a win here, though, Nate, at Churchill. Yeah, Rich Strike won 1 mile and 136. Big difference. Big difference. A 136 and a 137 in a mile. I don't think he's going to have the speed. Hasn't shown in the Jeff Ruby and any of these other races that he's running. And I think that West Saratoga, if you're looking for him, you're probably going to look for him as an exotic to hit the board if the pace collapses. But hey, I mean, anything can happen in the Derby because of the way it's run, as I say. And I just think that horse is going to be very long for a reason. Number 14, a horse that's going to be long, but probably shouldn't be that long, is Endlessly. Umberto Rispoli riding Endlessly. Horse out of Oscar Performance, a Kitten's Joy horse. So the horse is technically bred to run on turf, to run 1.25 miles on turf with El Prado in the background. Horse trained by Mike McCarthy, made it through here going through the artificial route, if you will. Getting winning the Jeff Ruby Stakes last out, winning in the El Camino Real Derby, was 8th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, winning the Zuma Beach. That was a decent win in that Zuma Beach on turf, 1 mile and 134. So it did translate over well enough for him to stumble, not really stumble his way into the Derby, but hey, he got wins. Those were legitimate wins for what they were, but just not the times I'd like to see. Being he's going from artificial, that's something you don't really know. How well is it going to transfer over for a horse going from artificial to the dirt, from the turf, especially the breeding and all that? Every horse is really different, and you really just got to judge each horse individually as its own. All these other things, the past performances, the trainer, looking at the breeding, all of that only means so much in the long run. The individual horse and the jockey as a team have to get it done. This horse is competitive, Endlessly. Coming off a couple of wins. Has shown he's got some speed, although on a different surface. So I don't blame you if you kind of want to go with him as a long shot as well, if you want to go against the favorite. That's another one you may want to consider. Number 15, Domestic Product. Not a lot that I like about this horse, except for the fact that it is Irad Ortiz Jr. that's riding him. One of, if not the best jockeys riding right now. Hasn't got a win in the Kentucky Derby just yet. Sometimes these great jockeys, they get wins with horses you didn't expect them to get the win with, like with Lily T and Pat Day. Like Pat Day rode in this race a bunch of times, bunch of wins at Churchill Downs. Finally get the win with a horse that nobody thinks he's going to get a win with. So weird things kind of happen with that. Irad Ortiz Jr. always gives every horse his best chance of winning in every race. So I think he will do the same with Domestic Product. Last out had a win in the Tampa Bay Derby, so he's coming off a win, albeit a slow one with that time in that mile 116th and 145. Second in the Holy Bull Stakes, snuck by Fierceness in a race that Fierceness really slept on. Johnny V showed that he knew he was sleeping in that race because you saw the way he ran the Florida Derby. He came out and took command because he knew he had the better horse and let that other one get away from him because of the slow pace. He kind of gave up there. Domestic Product snuck in and got a second place. 7th in the Remsen before that. So the horse has shown he can be competitive. Hasn't shown he's got the speed. I think something's going to happen with a pace to collapse for him to be able to do something in this one. But if the pace does collapse, the fact that he's got Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard is definitely a plus for that horse, Domestic Product. 16, Granmo the First. Another long one. But he's one of those horses that's been running with the others. Third in the Florida Derby, beaten by Fierceness. Was third in that Tampa Bay Derby. Third in the Swill. Third in the Zuma Beach. Maybe you want to take him third in this one. He'll certainly help out your try. They got him at 51 morning odds. Gonna be much higher than that. With 4 third places, nobody's gonna have, not nobody, not many people are gonna be betting this horse to do much of anything. But that's what drives these odds up so crazy. And the horse shows that he does like to close and stay competitive. And in a race like this, where a lot of other horses can get knocked out because of the pace and then get knocked out because of the traffic, if jockey Micio Jaramillo never gotten a Derby win before, not very familiar with the track, but he's in there. And that's going to drive the odds up even more from the case that he does come through. Now, at long last, we are at the favorite, Fierceness. 5-2 morning odds. I don't know what to think about this. I'm kind of thinking he might not even be the favorite. As many people say they like Sierra Leone. That's only a half a point ahead of what they got him at. I really think Fierceness probably should be 8-5. He might end up being an 8-5 favorite. It's a lot to like about the horse. He's got the fastest time. He's trained by Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher. Pletcher's got 3 Derby wins. Velazquez has 4 Derby wins, even though one was taken down. He's got a chip on his shoulder because they took away his Derby win with Medina Spirit. It's not his fault. Regardless of what people say in the test and all that, blah, 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 Johnny still rode a great race with the horse that he was mounted with, and he crossed the line first. So he's got a Derby win to put back on his resume. Todd Pletcher, of course, is looking to get another one with, kind of that Bob Baffert and Todd Pletcher thing was kind of a rivalry. And Bob Baffert kind of made it not a rivalry over the past few years. Kind of just skated away. A couple Triple Crown winners and stuff. I mean, it's kind of looking like, hey, Baffert's just better. And then the controversy set in. And now Todd Pletcher's back on the map. He's like, hey, baby, I could still sneak in there. Give me a Derby win right now. I could be considered one of the best of all time. Got his buddy on there, Johnny Velazquez, riding this one. Horse is out of City of Light. City of Light won the Pegasus World Cup, 1 1/8. You don't have a lot of 1 1/4 breeding. You do have elusive quality in there, which gave us Smarty Jones. We have Bernardini in there. We got Empire Maker in there. Won the Belmont Stakes. He gave us Pioneer of the Nile, which led to American Pharaoh. So you got some breeding in there. Not the best breeding from Fierceness, but you got to like the horse's toughness. Came out in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile against a heavy favorite, Muth, who's not in this one. And you kind of beat up on Muth. That kind of established in my mind like a rivalry there. And I kind of wanted to see him face off again because at 16-1, he just kind of beat up Muth and took charge and showed that he was the man in that one. Went on to get the 2-year-old championship after a bad loss in the Champagne Stakes before that, which probably led to that 16-1 price. Then he comes out third in the Holy Bull. So disappointing once again, even albeit after a long layoff. Johnny V didn't push it with this horse. Let Hades take the lead. A slow opening half, 50 seconds for the Holy Bull Stakes. That doesn't happen very often. Slow time in that mile 116-146. That's slow. Doesn't happen very often. And I'm pretty sure Johnny V knew that he kind of let that one slip away. Maybe he just was told that, hey, don't push it too much. Just get him in the money because we'll take care of business in the Florida Derby. That's what he did. Now, he didn't come out there and, run some kind of -2 second time in the Florida Derby, but it was the best time, 148.2, like in that Florida Derby. Best time by far. I would have liked to see better time of some of these other horses, but we just didn't see it. Fierceness put together the best time. And what's more, he won the Florida Derby going away. He could have taken another second off that time, but he won it so big. So you're looking at a 2-year-old champion here, getting back into it, going to be running near the front, if not on the lead. That could be his problem. Can he handle the pace? He's shown he can handle a strong pace. He can do 46 seconds, we know, but will it be 45? Will it be a 44 second? Will one of these horses get out there, just play the rabbit like Encino or something, and go a 44 second. You get a song and a prayer type of a pace, a Spanish chestnut type of a pace, and you create some kind of crazy win that a race like a horse like West Saratoga or something could win it. It could happen. This is the Kentucky Derby. It could happen. That's what Fierceness. If everybody else is chilling, it's Fierceness versus the clock, baby. You know, it's his race to win if they leave him alone. But he's not going to get left alone. Dornock up there, you know he wants to be up there. You got a track fan, you know he wants to be in front. Just look at his resume. Fierceness isn't going to have it that easy, even though he is the fastest horse in here. He's not going to have it that easy. I hear some people saying they don't like this field. I love this Derby field personally. I think these horses are pretty good. Not the strongest crop ever, but I think there's a lot of good horses this year. There's not a lot of bad ones in here. Everyone's done something. I like it. I like it a lot. So Fierceness, that's why he might not go down in price, which is good if you like Fierceness. But the money's going to be coming in heavy on Sierra Leone as well. I'm pretty sure. Number 18. 18 is probably my favorite horse. 20-1 in the morning odds. Blasphemy. Disrespectful. Disgraceful. For Stronghold, Santa Anita Derby winner, to be in here at a 20-1, and I don't think that's going to hold. I don't think it's going to hold. Even though I don't hear people talking big on him, I think that's nuts. Forget about the time, any of this stuff. People like look at all these trends and look, he's coming out of the 16th hole and rah, rah, rah. You know, that was a slow-paced track that day. Blah. All this crap people say. He won the Santa Anita Derby. He beat Imagination, a Baffert horse, that another Baffert. If Imagination was in this race, he'd be in the top 5. Why is a Stronghold get any love? I don't know. It's horse racing. That's why. It's the Kentucky Derby. It's the media. It's the blah, blah, blah of people talking, and certain things just get blown out of proportion. I would take Stronghold to beat Sierra Leone any day of the week. And twice on Saturday. All right. Stronghold. Sired by Ghost Zapper. Another disrespected, underrated, highly underrated horse. Ghost Zapper could have been a Secretariat had he gone the right path. Not every horse gets to run the Triple Crown path. Ghost Zapper did go on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sub 2-minute mile and a quarter in that race. It was his race and his race alone. His sire, Awesome Again. I mean, another horse that had to go out there and battle through. I mean, Awesome Again, when he won the Breeders' Cup Classic, he had to beat all these horses like Silver Charm and I think what's his name's in there. Free House was in there, and you had oh man, that race I had to go back. There was tons of competition in that race. Awesome Again got that win. Awesome Again was awesome. Ghost Zapper was awesome. I mean, you got this breeding back in here, going back once again with the distorted humor leading you to 49er Northern Dancer. You've got awesome breeding in the line with Stronghold. Is Stronghold the next horse? I don't know. He could be the next horse in this line. Problem is, he hasn't shown me the speed. Not yet. Not yet. He had a win breaking the maiden at Churchill Downs. We're going to talk about the mile in 136, 135 in the mile on the win at Churchill Downs. Breaking the maiden. Goes off second in the Bob Hope, second in the Los Alamitos. Gets a win in the Sunland Derby. Mile and 1/16, 142, solid. And Anita, I would have liked to seen a faster time. It was 149.99, I think it was. I would have liked to seen that be a faster time. I think he could have run a faster time. He didn't run a faster time. So, I mean, the time is what the time is. But you got to love the touch on this horse. This horse raced at Ellis Park. He raced at Churchill Downs. Got that win. Del Mar Park. Los Alamitos Race Course, Sunland Park, Santa Anita Park, coming away with a Grade 1 win. How do people think this horse is a long shot? I don't get it. I mean, so much to like about this horse. Antonio Fresu's riding. Yeah, Fresu's not that accomplished. Look, okay, got guys like Sonny Leone, rode Rich Strike. You have guys that come in here in the Kentucky Derby. They get their win in the Derby because they're good with their horse. All right, they might not ever run a really good race ever again. But they had their horse getting him into the Derby. I was about to say Jeremy Rose. Jeremy Rose did run third in that crazy Derby. Did go on to win the Preakness and the Belmont. But where's Jeremy Rose? Where's he been since then? Smarty Jones. Stuart Elliott. If Stuart Elliott wasn't riding Smarty Jones, he'd be a Triple Crown winner. That's all I want to say, getting into that without getting off on too much of a tangent. But what I'm saying is Fresu can win. He can win the Kentucky Derby. This can happen if you got the right horse. I really like this Stronghold horse. I don't know what else to say. It's a disgrace they got him with these kind of odds. It's a disgrace. Number 19, Resilience. This is another good horse, too. He's going to get bet down, though. I don't know why he's not getting disrespected. Probably because Resilience. I don't know why they would consider. I mean, Santa Anita Derby produces lots of Kentucky Derby winners. So I don't know why people would act like that's not a solid win for Stronghold. But yet more people will like Resilience. I guarantee you that. Horses out into Mischief. Mother's father's Smart Strikes. That's giving you street sense in there. Into Mischief, sire Derby winner Authentic. Johnny Velazquez rode this horse last out in the Wood. Not a very impressive win to me. Got a win. Did that mile and an eighth, 150. Too slow for my liking. But he got the win there. Fourth in the Ridden Star before that one. Did lose him in a maiden race at Churchill. That same one lost to Stronghold. So familiar with the track, gotten beat by Stronghold at the track, though. Resilience, tough. Johnny Velazquez, of course, riding Fierceness. So I do like this horse. I liked him to run second in the Wood. He did get a win in the Wood. Johnny Velazquez is not riding him anymore, though. Being that Johnny Velazquez is on Fierceness, they're putting Junior Alvarado on this horse. No Derby wins for Junior Alvarado. He's been stepping it up as of late. So I do think Junior Alvarado has taken a step up. Baffert's been using him a lot. So I kind of like the moves he's been making. I think he's a suitable replacement. I would have liked to have seen Mike Smith on somebody. Mike Resilience seems like he would have been a good fit. But it didn't happen. Bill Luck is, I think, is some of the other ones, though. I think he's a decent horse, though. But I think a bit outmatched speed-wise. And so I put him in the category up there with the horses like Sierra Leone. If you like Sierra Leone, certainly I think you should give Resilience a shout, too. I don't see why not. And number 20, last but not least, Society Man, another Danny Gargan horse. Frankie Dettori riding this one. So if you like the feel-good play right here, go with Society Man. Society Man kind of squeaked his way into the Derby here. Second in the wood behind Resilience. Um, got a win at Aqueduct before that, mile 138. Not fast. Eighth in the Withers. So, Society Man making moves up. Good magic horse. So, good, decent breeding. Not a lot breeding wise, but he made his way into the race. Gonna be big money. So I don't necessarily like him too much. Uh, I do like the fact that he has this 46-second breezing workout. He seems to like the Churchill Downs track, or at least he did for that workout. That is a legitimate workout time. Could show the horse is improving. Being in the race and the way this is, these big money, big odds horses do hit the board. And if you're playing exotics, exactas, tries, supers, there's a good reason to play Society Man in there. Frankie Dettori, lots of experience as a jockey, not a lot at Churchill Downs. I don't think he's ridden the Kentucky Derby before. But Frankie Dettori got experience. It's going to be big odds on this one. So if you're looking for a long shot to throw a little something on, hey, by the way, if you like a long shot, if you want to go long shot in this one, I recommend playing at least 3 of them, probably up to 5. I would say that's where I've had notice luck in that kind of situation back with Super Saver. I had 5 long shots with Super Saver. Super Saver being that 5th long shot. So if you want to go with long shots, Society Man might be with one you want to go with. However, as we all know, the pace makes the race. So, this video is long, 22 seconds in the second half. The pace of this Kentucky Derby. Going to be a hot pace for the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, everybody says that. Why does everybody say that? Because it's always a hot pace for the Kentucky Derby. Because there's always horses in here that are going to be front runners due to the mix of the horse. Even though we don't have the old sprinters that used to run in here like they used to, we're not going to have as many 44-second opening half miles. I do expect this to be at least a 46, if not making its way down to a 45-second opening half. Why is that? Because we're going to have Dornoch coming off of the 1 hole, heading to the lead. Mystic Dan is going to want to mix it up in there as well, along with Just Steel, and we're going to have Encino and Track Phantom. Track Phantom will go for the front. Why do I say that? Track Phantom always goes for the front. I don't know that he's going to get it. If he wants it, he's going to have to go 46. We're also going to have the favorite Fierceness in there. So that's some real legitimate speed in there. Dornoch, Mystic Dan, Just Steel, Encino, Track Phantom, and Fierceness. This is not going to be a slow pace. If it's a slow pace, Fierceness runs away with this race. Johnny Velazquez has the experience winning this Derby from off the pace and on it. He controlled the pace twice. He's gotten it done. He knows how to get it done. You don't want to give Johnny an easy pace. I do have Fierceness, however, getting the lead. I don't think Rosario is going to take Track Phantom to 46 to 45 seconds. He's going to need to go. I think Johnny's going to go 46. I think Track Phantom hangs in there, says as long as I'm nearby and he doesn't get away with me, I'm all right. I think that's what Rosario is going to do. Don't think Rosario forces him to the front, so therefore I got Fierceness on the lead, opening half, 46 flat. All right. I think he continues on with a solid pace, does the 3/4 in 110. All these other horses, I think, are going to be off the pace. I don't think Sierra Leone's going to be stupidly off the pace, but a lot of people think he's going to be dead last. I think it's hard to really call who's going to really come up really dead last. I think a lot of it has to do with how the break goes. I mean, because there's going to be a lot of shuffling, and as I've said before, The post position means nothing from a handicapping standpoint. If you're the jockey, yeah, post position means a lot. It determines how your job's going to work out. So not that post position means nothing for anyone. It means a lot for the jockey. From a handicapping standpoint, no. You're picking a jockey, and you're picking your jockey's ability to deal with whatever post position that he happens to have drawn. So I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the jockey's ability to deal with what he's given and position the horse properly. I do think Fierceness is going to get the lead, though. I could very easily be wrong about that. It could be Track Phantom. It could be Door Knock. But I'm going with Fierceness, and I think Fierceness carries it out. I think by the time they come around that final turn, you're going to have all these horses are going to move. Everybody's going to be moving on them, putting pressure on them, and it's gonna force Johnny Velazquez to pick up the pace, so that mile will most likely easily be in 135, if not in the 130. I'm expecting a strong pace because even if Fierceness falls off, these other horses have the speed to keep it going strong. Will they keep it going strong? No, I don't think so. I've got Fierceness kicking away from these other front runners, and it's going to be up to these closers to get them. You're looking, and these are the top closers that I've got it. Sierra Leone, yeah, we got him in there as one of the top closers. We got Catching Freedom in there. I've got Anna Marie. I've got Forever Young. I've got Endlessly. I've got Stronghold. And Stronghold, I don't think, will be too far off the pace. Depending on how Freysu does it, I think he's going to probably be in perfect position. Based if the horse runs with his normal pace. But I got him as one that's going to close in strong there. Also, Resilience is going to make strong moves on that pace. As well as Society Man. Dettori is going to be up in there. Not sure Society Man is going to have the speed. So we would need to double collapse that pace or else need Fierceness to fall apart. These horses are going to move in. I think it's clearly going to be Stronghold and Catching Freedom. The 4-horse Flavian Pratt breaking free from the closing pack, going after Fierceness. I really like Stronghold. I really do. I don't like Flavian Pratt either. I don't. He celebrated too much. When if you win the Kentucky Derby to a disqualification, you're supposed to be like, I got the win. Strong, solid face. But you're not jumping all up and down, all giddy and stuff because you went off a disqualification, didn't cross the finish line first. He needs to get out there and get it done first, in my opinion. And Flavian Pratt's going to be wanting to do that. I don't know if he really has that much integrity. He really wants to feel like he corrects that and gets a solid Derby win. But he is a talented jockey nonetheless. So I've got him beating out this horse that I love so much, Stronghold. I've got Stronghold running third in the Derby. Sierra Leone, Tyler Gaffleone making a move. Gaffleone on Leone, Sierra Leone, Tyler Gaffleone, depending on how you pronounce it. And that's going to sound good. It's a feel-good story with Chad Brown and everything. I don't think he's going to get in there in time. I don't think he's fast enough. I do think he's fast enough to run fourth, though. So I got Sierra Leone running fourth. I've got Stronghold in there with a strong, resilient third place. I would like to see Freysu. I think Freysu's going to learn a lot. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done, though, because I think Catching Freedom is going to make the move after Fierceness, and he's just not going to get him. Catching Freedom runs second. Flavian Pletcher, Velazquez, Johnny V coming in with another Kentucky Derby win. That's right. I'm going with the favorite this time. He's a favorite the favorite's always a favorite for a reason. I think the hype is against him. I think a lot of people don't like this horse. I think a lot of people think that he is overrated and have thus thrown their attention towards Sierra Leone, towards Catching Freedom, towards horses like Resilience. I've heard people on. People are on Honor Marie. People are on Just a Touch. Of course, I like Just a Touch of Love a little bit. But I don't think it's going to be this time. I think it's going to be Fierceness. Fierceness, I really like the championship quality he showed in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I really like the championship quality that he showed in the Florida Derby. And this is Johnny V. He knows how to do this, all right? Todd Pletcher, all right? And he's got the horse. He's got the horse clearly on paper. So I think if he loses, Johnny V really knows he screwed this one up. I see myself, if I'm not picking him, I would have think that I screwed up if he does win. If he doesn't win, I feel confident in saying that that's what it looked like to me on paper. That's what I see in the video. That's what I feel based on putting it all together. The race, the pace, everything. Yeah, front runner's going to come up there and escape the fast pace in the Kentucky Derby. Doesn't happen very often, but somebody knows how to do it. You know who that guy is? Johnny V, baby. And I think Johnny V is gonna come in here and get it done. After a lot of deliberation, because like I said, I like a lot of these horses. I would not be surprised if we see any other of these horses come up with big wins in the next 2 years. Door knock, big wins. I've already said I expect big things out of Just a Touch of love, a little bit, but not in this race. I expect to see some big things out of Resilience. And I certainly expect to see big things out of Stronghold. I think it could be possible that Stronghold comes back and gets Fierceness and takes him out at a different point. Just not right now, not this time. I'm going Fierceness for the win in the Kentucky Derby. Let me know what you think. Give me your picks in the comment section.